All right, let's get right into a story that starts at, well, rock bottom. I mean, absolute zero. And it shows how just 90 days can literally change everything. It's a really powerful look at how one single decision, followed by just showing up, can completely rewrite a life. So we start with Daniel. He's 29 years old, and he's lost it all. His job, his family ties, even his hope. He's living in this tiny, empty room, just totally trapped in this cycle of despair, believing that this is it, this is his life now. He wasn't just broke, he felt completely invisible. But then, one night, he's just walking around with no real destination, and he finds this note. A note with a few words on it that would end up being the spark for this huge change. And this number, 90. Well, it was about to become his entire world. Okay, so this is where it all begins. And it doesn't start with some grand plan or a lucky break. Nope, it starts with one single, quiet decision to just try. To just try for 90 days. I mean, his reality was just bleak. And here's the thing. When you really believe something is forever, you stop fighting it, right? And that's exactly where Daniel was. He was stuck, not even trying anymore, because he'd already accepted defeat. So that note he found, it just sparked this tiny crack in all that hopelessness. It planted this one question in his head that he just couldn't shake. What if? And that little what if was powerful enough to make him go back to his room, grab a piece of paper, write the number 90 on it, and stick it to his wall. Suddenly, the fight had a deadline. So how does a journey like this actually start? Well, this next part is all about Daniel's very first super crucial steps out of that darkness. And it's all about one small, almost insignificant action at a time. Now look at how his journey begins. Day one wasn't find a job. It was just get up and walk outside. That's it. Each one of these steps seems so tiny, but it was a massive move forward. It was breaking that inertia that had kept him prisoner for months. And Marcus, his first mentor, his approach was absolutely key. He didn't ask about Daniel's past, didn't grill him. He just said, come and join. He taught by doing, not by criticizing. And that created this safe space for Daniel to actually try, to fail, and to try again without any judgment. And this, right here, is where the magic really starts to happen. You see, those small steps began to compound. They started building on each other, and that fundamentally changed not just his situation, but how Daniel saw himself, and just as important, how other people started to see him. I mean, you can see the shift happening right here, inside and out. By day 24, he wasn't just working a couple of jobs, he was becoming someone new. He started carrying himself differently, head up. He engaged with the world, and guess what? The world started responding. And then came this offer from Ruth, a local business owner. Marcus had told her about this guy who just kept showing up. This was a huge moment. That old voice in his head was screaming, "You're gonna fail." But for the very first time, Daniel just ignored it and said one single life-changing word: yes. But of course, just as he finally finds some solid ground, just as things start to feel real, a massive threat shows up that could just wipe out all of his progress in an instant. And this wasn't some small challenge. This was a total game changer. A huge company with tons of money sets up shop selling the exact same stuff as Ruth. For Daniel, this wasn't just about a business. This was about the new life, the new purpose he had just started to build for himself. The new company's prices were just a knockout blow. In only 10 days, Ruth lost over half her customers. I mean, the numbers were brutal. Without some kind of miracle, the business was toast. But instead of just giving up, Daniel came up with a plan. He looked at the problem and realized, you know what? We can't compete on price. It's impossible. But we can compete on something that big company doesn't have: our truth, our story. He did the one thing that big corporations can't do. He connected with people, human to human. He walked those same streets where he once felt so invisible, and he told the story of the woman who gave him a chance when nobody else would. And those first few doors, man, they were a painful reminder of his old life. Rejection hit hard, bringing back all those feelings of being invisible. The voice in his head was just screaming, "See, no one cares." It was a test of everything he had built inside himself over the last 2 months. But then, a single yes, the fourth door he knocked on. One person listened, and they agreed to show up.
And that tiny spark was just enough fuel to fight back against the darkness of all the rejections. It was just enough to keep him going.
So slowly, day by day, his just relentless effort started to turn the tide. He just kept knocking. He kept telling the story. And this wasn't about one big heroic moment. This was about the grueling, unglamorous power of just being consistent.
His actions created this ripple effect. People weren't just buying a product anymore. They were buying into a story. They chose to support something real. The community rallied behind them, and on day 90, Ruth didn't just thank him. She made him her equal partner in the very business he helped save.
So when you boil it all down, the story isn't really about luck or some special talent. It's about this one repeatable decision. It's the only thing that separates the people who make it from the ones who don't. That choice to keep going, made once and then made again and again, every single day. Daniel turned absolutely nothing into everything, not because the world just handed him a chance, but because he decided to take one. He wasn't special, he wasn't chosen, he just started. And that's really the key takeaway here, isn't it? That simple act is available to every single one of us. So the real question is, what will you build in your 90 days?